Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. Yeah, as you notice, this is going to be about how I clean my records. And I think the way I do it here is probably the best solution and the most economical solution because it really cleans the records. It cleans them so good, they sound better after you're done cleaning them. You can't say that about a lot of records where actually the fidelity is going to increase. You're going to hear more music. And what do I use? The SpinClean. And back here is the Record Doctor 5. This is really good for washing your records, right? Got some little wheels here. I'll just open it, show you inside. Okay, and some brushes in here that come out. The brushes come out. These parts can be replaced if you do so many records that they become damaged in some way. So you fill this with water and a little bit of, I'm going to show you how to make the fluid that I use in it later on in the video, and then you just spin the record in there and it cleans it. Cleans it really good. But this doesn't dry your records. It doesn't dry them good at all. They're all wet when you're done. And if you've got soap or whatever in here, there's still a lot of soap on that record because you haven't rinsed it. And now, unless you got two SpinCleans where you wash it on one and then rinse it on the other, and by the time you start rinsing in here after a while, the rinsing water is going to be dirty too. So how are you going to get all that water off your record? All that soap out of those grooves and everything? Because those brushes on there, you're really only cleaning the surface of the record. You're getting a little bit into that groove, but remember, the grooves are microscopic. Those bristles on that brush are not microscopic. They're not getting way down deep in there. But the water is getting in everything. And with the agitation and the moving around, you're loosening up a lot of stuff that's kind of deep in that groove. It's getting loosened up, but the brushes aren't able to get way down in there and get it all out. And for a lot of folks, their needle doesn't go that far down in the groove anyway. So if there's soap residue or something stuck in there, they're not going to hear it. But with my stylus, I hear that soap. When I just take it out of the SpinClean and I've used the soap, and then I dry it off with the towels or whatever they provide with this, or some better towels actually, I hear like my records are full of static. Crackle, crackle, crackle. And after I play them 2 or 3 times, they get a lot better. But some people on the VC, they called me out and they said, Ron, you need to get a vacuum for your records. And this is the Record Doctor 5. This machine is a vacuum record cleaner. And what it does, it's got some brushes on the top here, and that's where the vacuum is. And as you rotate your record on there, it sucks all the water off the record. And because now way deep in the microscopic grooves, you've got it all kind of loosened up with the SpinClean. Now this is able to pull that dirt right out of there and clean all the soap out of there and clean all the residue, get everything off the record. And this is why they actually sound better. This is why they have more fidelity. Okay? There's another record cleaning system that's fairly new now. Ultrasonic record cleaners, right? Maybe some of you have heard of it. Maybe some of you are currently using that. Maybe some of you don't know what it is. So what it is, you've heard what they do. They've been doing it with jewelry and different things for a number of years. They use an ultrasonic cleaner because it's not abrasive to whatever you're doing it on. It's just ultrasonic and lots of little bubbles and ultrasound bombarding the vinyl on the record. And you can go on eBay and you can buy a system for about $400, $500, and then they go from there. They start shooting up to the moon because there's a standalone ones where it's an automatic. It's got a machine. You just put your record on it, hit go, and then it cleans the record by itself, and it dries, brings it up, brings it down, dries it off. Yeah, they're about $3,500. Yeah, who's buying that? And nobody watching my video, I don't think. So the system that I'm currently using, and I think down the road it would really be nice to get that, but I've got this, and I don't really want to throw $500 at something else right now. A lot of people have this already. Well, how do you make this great for 200 bucks, right? Yeah, you get this, the Record Doctor 5 for 200. Now, if you say, well, if I'm going to throw $200 at cleaning records, I might as well just go with the ultrasonic. Okay, well, keep digging into the ultrasonic, because now when it's that records, and you can get clamps where you can put 4, 5, 6, maybe even more records in that vat, and the motor's on there, and it spins the records around. So you can clean 6, even more at a time. And every time you add more pucks and more stuff, you need a bigger motor, and that attachment, it costs more and more and more money. So you're getting up in price all the time. And then, as you're spinning it around, you're just spinning it around in dirty water. I mean, you got 6, 8, 10 records in there, and you're cleaning them. Where's all that dirt going? It's coming out of the groove, but at the same time, the record is still circulating in dirty water. And so now what you got to do, you put a hose on the drain, and that hose goes around. You got to buy a pump to circulate, a circulation pump to circulate the water into a filter, and then that filtered water goes back into the vat. So now you're trying to clean the water. So when you take the water out, what they do, they usually just air dry the record. To me, if you're going to do the ultrasonic, pop it out, run it through this, suck all that water off. Now you've got a clean record again. But why this cleans just as good as the ultrasonic, in my opinion, when I'm using this. I mean, I would stack it up against taking a microscope and looking under that microscope when I'm done this versus the ultrasonic. Could be wrong, but to my ears, they are so clean, they're so good. And I'm going to make another part of this video where I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of this, how this works, and talk about my record cleaning formulation. And here we go. All right, here we go. So first what I do is I'm going to make some record cleaning solution. And it's really basic, because the main component in any kind of I don't like using alcohol on my records. I do have a little bottle. I think it's down here. Yep, here it is. I have a little squirt bottle, and I do put some alcohol in here with some soap. It's a stronger solution: water, alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and some for if I get a bad spot on the record or something where I want to just squirt a little bit and clean it. That's just spot cleaning. Okay, I'll use that. But for when I'm just basically cleaning my records, no, I'm not cleaning let's say dollar bin records or Goodwill records. You know, the ones that you pull out and there's like peanut butter and junk and hair and all kinds of mess all over the record. When you get ones that are really grungy, that like they're probably a 30-year-old record and it's never been cleaned, and they're really bad, and you don't want to put all that dirt in here, what you can do is go in your kitchen, get you a couple of bath towels and a face cloth, and take the face cloth, get it wetted down, take some dish soap, put 4, 5, 6, 7 drops, get a little bit of soap on there, get it wetted and rub that, and get that washcloth all nice and soapy, okay? Then take your record and turn the tap on, not hot. You don't want, it doesn't have to be cold, but you just don't want it hot. Warm's fine, and just get the record wet. Don't really worry about getting the label wet or not. You're going to dry it off right away. It's not going to hurt it. Put it on that one of those towels, and take that washcloth now and just rub it around the way of the grooves. Don't go cross grain. Just go along, and you can move the record and just wash that record down really good. Remember, you've got that record, that washcloth is really soapy, it's really wet, and you're just washing the whole thing down. And then flip it over, do the other side. Now go back under the tap again with the water full blast, and use that pressure of that water on those grooves, and blast all that soap and stuff off that record on both sides. And then take the other towel that you had with no soap or anything on it, and just fold it over and pat it down real nice. And then you can even take the towel and same thing, go with the grooves and dry everything off, and you'll pull that record will look brand new. if it's not all scratched up, obviously. But then you can take it and go through this step. But most of your records are not going to require that. That's for your garage sale records or records you got from a dollar store or a Goodwill. You know, the kind of records I'm talking about. We've all had that. But for my records, even stuff I get out of Japan that's full of dirt and whatever, fingerprints and stuff, I just use this. So you go to, I got this from Kroger, it was not even $1, distilled water, okay? You don't want any just regular tap water, you want to get distilled water, it's cheap. Now you can use, what you want to do, you're cleaning your records with water. But there's things that can make water work better, and you can help it to where it will rinse off better, okay? So you need to use a surfactant. A lot of people use photo flow, use something to make, the water flow better on the record, because what you got on water is called surface tension, where when you put it on the record, it beads up on there. So you want it to flow better, so you need a surfactant. And so a lot of people use this Dawn dish. It doesn't matter if it's Dawn or not, just some dish soap. And I'm going to put it in here. I haven't made it up yet. All you want to put in there, I got 2.5 drops in there. That's it. That's all you need, because you're not using soap to clean your records. You're just using that as a surfactant. And that's what I use, and I've read a lot of different things about it, and people will say that works just as good as the photo flow, and then you don't have to go and buy it online. But if you want to buy the photo flow, or there's different types of flow material, that's good too. Okay, now I just take the water, shake it up good, get it mixed up in there, right? Now I've got, you see I'm even getting some little bit of suds on top, so I know I've got that mixed in there well. Now we want to pour the water in the SpinClean. And there's a line on the SpinClean you fill it up to. So there it is. Now as a rinsing agent, I just use some distilled white vinegar. Now this is a little bit different than what I used to use. I used to have a screw cap. So I would just put a cap full, but so you're just using it as a rinsing agent. So something like that. You don't need a whole bunch in there. You're just another thing to help the water, because you're using water to clean your records. You're not using vinegar and alcohol and photo flow and jet dry and all this other stuff that people want to clean records with. Well, I played this the other day. I was going to use it on a video, and when I took it out, I noticed that it's, because I still have a lot of records to clean. I haven't finished cleaning my whole collection yet. I noticed this one was not cleaned. So here we go. We're going to clean it right now. And all you do is you just spin it. 1, 2, 3. Take your time on this. Maybe you go a little bit slower. 7, 8 times around is all you need. Okay? Now when you're done with that, I just pull it out and I let it sit there for a second, because then I'm going to have to swap over to my Record Doctor 5. So now I pulled the record off the SpinClean, and I just drop it down here on this surface, puck on top, turn the machine on. Clean one side, and then we do the other side. I don't know how much the camera can pick up on that, but you know, the record's going to be spotless now, and it's going to play like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so there's another thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, so now that I've got the record clean, I'm not going to put it back in that old inner sleeve I had, especially if it's, you know, it's not a real nice one that's going to protect my records. So let's talk about that for a sec. I'll put the record back here. Okay, I've got two that I like to use. One's called the DiscKeeper, and I'll leave the link down below. And then Quality Records also makes these. The quality ones are more like the MoFi, and these are heavier duty. This has got thicker poly and thicker paper. It seems like these are the best ones I've ever found. These DiscKeepers. So I'm going to take the record now. Once I've got it dried off. Oh, yeah, don't wreck the record. That's really maddening when you do something like that. You got a pristine record and then you scratch it or something. So now I've got the record in there. Get the cover. See, now I don't have to let them air dry or anything. That thing's perfectly dry. I can put it up right away. And then I've got my outer sleeve now, but my outer sleeve I'm going to put it into. And I'll leave the link to these outer sleeves as well. I really like these outer sleeves. So now I've got my record clean. Now I can do another one. And what I used to do with my son, he'd be on one side of the table, he'd be washing them, I'd be on the other side, and we'd just go back and forth. But this thing is good for about 10, 12 records if you got it on continually, because it'll get hot. Now it's cold, because if you're doing it by yourself, it takes a lot longer to do it. And all I used to do, I just unplug it, and I'd stick it in I got an upright freezer, and I'd stick it in the upright freezer for about 10 minutes to cool it right down and back at doing records again. But there is a kit you can buy for this Record Doctor 5. KAB, Cab Electroacoustics, P.O. Box 2922 in New Jersey. And you can get the kit. Now what does the kit have? With the Record Doctor 5, you get the platform where the record sits on. Okay, and then below that, a little bearing in there, little roller bearing. Okay, so in the kit, what do you get? You get a spacer, a washer basically. You get a washer that goes on there, and now you get a new bearing, a lot bigger one. Okay, and you get a new platform too to put your records on, to roll around on there. Make sure it's nice and centered in there. Put that on there. And see, now it's stable. That other little bearing, all this wants to do on there, when you put that on there, all it wants to do is flop around like this. So when you're cleaning your record, and it's inexpensive, and I read a lot about it. This is a nice little upgrade for it. You know, it doesn't cost that much to do. And that is your Record Doctor 5. That's how I clean my records. Now what you're supposed to do with this now, you're supposed to put the record on here, put your soap on it, and you're supposed to use a brush on there to clean the record, right? That's how all those VPIs, all those record cleaners, you're supposed to clean it by hand with a clean, and then you turn your wand, you put your wand over there, and it sucks the water off. This is how this is designed to work as well. But the SpinClean cleans them a lot better. It's totally immersed in that water, and you're cleaning and cleaning and cleaning that. It's a lot better than a little brush going here and there, and you got just a little bit of water on there. So, and then this will vacuum it all off, and you've got a perfectly clean record for, let's just say it's about, because this SpinClean is like $89, and this is at $199. So this is a $300 record cleaning system that when you're done cleaning your records, they're going to sound better than they sounded before. Yeah, believe it or not, they will sound better, because I had guys call me out, Ron, your record's going to sound better. So I tried it, and they do. You can hear a difference. They sound better. It's kind of what I noticed was I was listening to a record where they had some harmonizing, and before I cleaned the record, I could hear the record. It was beautiful. I could hear all the harmony, all the voices harmonizing. Then I cleaned the record, and I could still hear the harmonizing, but now I heard like the 3 separate voices harmonizing. Wow. Yeah, just from cleaning that, getting in that groove and cleaning all the stuff out of there. It's my needle is better able to trace the record. I'm not getting the distortion caused by all the stuff in the groove. Makes a big difference. Okay, well, and even if you don't get this, make sure you don't put that soap in your SpinClean, because I had a lot of trouble with my records. I was using that soap and it made a big mess of my records. And I just started using, right at the bed, I just started using water. I said, let me just use water, and boy, it made 100% difference. So now I got a little bit of surfactant, a little bit of a rinsing agent in there, and that's what I do. Now you might want to add a little alcohol, you might want to do a little bit different, but this is how I do it. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.